I know you've heard this from everyone, mainly people like David Goggins. Everyone, all those successful people tell you this, but for some reason you don't listen. You just don't listen. You have to literally stop caring what people think. Now, I know it's so easy to say, and it might be hard because you might feel embarrassed or you feel like you owe people something. Listen, the only person you owe shit to is yourself. You owe yourself to become what you want to become. You owe yourself to be the best man you can be. You owe it to yourself to do what you want to do. If you want to be an MMA fighter, if your whole fucking life you're just thinking, I want to be an MMA fighter, then fucking do it. Who gives a fuck? If your parents say become a doctor, be like, no. What are they going to do? Realistically, what are they going to do? If they love you, they're not going to kick you out. If they don't love you, they kick you out, well, you have a better fucking story now. Get a job and live at the gym, live at the MMA gym. It's so cheap. I'm going to TriStar, and to live in the best accommodation, a fucking big room, a big room with a window, own shower, own sink, everything, it's like 1K a month. And that's the best MMA gym in all of Canada. So if you can live at a gym, just fucking do that. If that's what you want to do, obviously. Like that was a hyper niche thing. But if you want to do whatever, you want to work on some type of business, you want to become some sort of doctor, or you want to do make some cure for some shit, whatever you want to do, you must be all in. And in order to be all in, you must not care what others think, and it doesn't matter who it is. Parents, friends, it doesn't fucking matter. Because either they're going to support you, and that way it makes the journey a lot easier, and if they don't support you, it makes the journey more fulfilling. And it makes it a more like a rags to riches story. Like, oh, nobody supported me and now look at me. And it's not in a way of like vengeance or anything. Like I'm not telling you to think in your mind, oh, fuck my friends, fuck my parents, fuck everyone, it's just me. Don't think like that. Just think, fuck what they think. Don't make some type of hatred for your parents. Because the reality of the situation is, you know that this is your only chance on the planet. So if you go and you let your parents just control your life and you never end up doing what you want to do, on your deathbed, or likely a lot earlier, probably in your 30s or something, you'll start to think like, fuck, I really wanted to become an MMA fighter, but my parents always told me to go to school, become a doctor, whatever, and because of them, I didn't get to do what I always wanted to do, and now I hate them. You will resent your parents if you don't do what you do. And it's not your parents' fault. It's your fault. Your parents don't control your actions. You control your actions. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. And you have to get comfortable. If you can't, in your mind, like physically break that tension, I have a lot of problem with that too. I have to learn how to fully break that tension. But in your mind, if you can't break that tension between like caring about what people think, like you still care what they think, you just gotta say, okay, I can still care what they think, but fuck what they think. I know it might not make sense. It's hard to put into words exactly what I'm trying to say, but you can still, there's two different type of ways. One, you don't even listen to what anyone thinks, and the other one is you hear what they think, it still affects you, but you still like push through with the motivation and discipline and say fuck what they think. Those are the two types. And obviously the first one is better, where you literally just zone it out. Whatever they say, in through one ear, out through the other, you're focused on what you're doing. And I feel like I'm getting to that place. I'm nowhere near it, honestly, but I think I'm a little bit further than the second one, which is just not caring. But I mean, like, knowing, kind of caring what they think, but also saying fuck what they think. But yeah, honestly, like, it's so important that you don't care what other people think. Because most of the time, what you want to do, what you feel your true purpose is, what you feel is actually going to fulfill you in life, is not what your parents want you to do. It's not what your friends want you to do. It's not what people you know want to do, like relatives, whatever. It's not what they want you to do. It's not what they expect of you. And it's not what the average person does. And if you want to be an average person and fucking hate your life in the future when you realize that you really wanted to do something, but you couldn't do it because you care what other people think, then, well, that's up to you. You know, like I said, there's only one spin around the world, so just fucking do what you want to do. Like for me, I wanted to do MMA since I was 15. And then I obviously I didn't like say like, oh, I want to do it. But whenever I'm going like boxing, they're like, oh, you should like focus on school, whatever. And now it's at the point I'm 20. It's been 5 years. I'm like, fuck it. Now I'm just gonna do it. And I feel like now I've built that thing where I kind of don't care. So my parents say don't do it. I'll be like, okay, you don't want me to do it, but I'm going to do it. That's actually like my response now. Sometimes, like my mom or dad will say something, and I'll just be like, okay, but this is what I'm going to do. So like acknowledge, but also say, like I acknowledge, I know you care, but this is what I'm doing, and nothing you say can ever change that. And it'll take a lot of convincing yourself first before you can actually say it out loud. So I think that's actually the first step. Convince yourself that you're doing this one thing, whatever you wish to do, whatever you really feel like you want to do with life. Convince yourself you're going all in on this one thing in your mind. And all you're doing is listening to podcasts, listening to audiobooks of whatever this topic is. And it's just your whole life, this one thing. And convince yourself that this is all you're going to do with life. So then when someone tries to challenge you on that, you're like, bro, I've spent every fucking waking second listening to something of this on this topic. I've spent every couple of hours convincing myself that this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. Whatever argument you have doesn't make a fucking difference. So then in your mind, you're going to be like, okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to do this anyway. And that's it. Like, for example, I'm going to say use MMA as an example because that's what I'm doing. So if someone's like, oh, well, you could get hurt. I'm like, yeah, that's true. But I have a goal of being the best MMA fighter. And I have a goal of making Canadian MMA great again. Because Canadian MMA has fallen off and a lot of people are talking shit about how like TriStar and just Canadian MMA in general shit. So my goal is to become amazing and then bring Canada up as a result of that. And that's just what I'm going to do. Like, okay, I understand that you want me to stay home and you want me to live with family. I understand family is important. I understand. But this is what I want to do and I'm going to do it. You don't have to fight them with logic. Logically, they might be right. They might say, oh, it doesn't make sense to spend all your money and then get fucking knocked out and then be fucked. And I'll say like, yeah, that makes sense. But this is what I'm going to do. And I'm just going to do it. That's it. Just have the confidence that that's what you're going to do. Because when you have that confidence, if someone gave you the perfect fucking step-by-step, exactly every single reason of why your goal is flawed, you'll still say, well, okay, I can see that there's a 0.0000001% chance of me becoming a UFC champion. Well, it's what I want to do, so it's what I'm going to do. Someone can do it, I can do it. That's what you have to say. You just have to have that unwavering, unshakable self-confidence and self-belief in that what you're doing is what you want to do and what you truly feel will bring fulfillment in your life. And yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Whatever you want to do, just fucking do it. And the reason I'm saying this is because I actually really, really care. For me,